Summer in Crowhurst was usually quiet, almost tedious, and the young scholar Thomas Winthrop had come to town to study ancient medieval inscriptions in the local church library. Little was said about Crowhurst outside the neighboring towns. The residents were reserved, polite, yet cautious. There were whispered rumors of strange events, of disappearances no one dared to mention aloud. Thomas stayed at a small inn beside the church. On the first night, while arranging his books, he heard the soft metallic chime coming from the church attic. Curious, despite the chill crawling up his spine, he decided to investigate. The staircase groaned under his weight, and his lantern cast trembling shadows over dusty crates and age-worn manuscripts. In the farthest corner, he found a small reliquary made of dark wood, carved with symbols he did not recognize. A smell of mold mixed with something else, something indescribable, ancient and deep, emanated from it. When he touched the reliquary, a wave of vertigo washed over him. The shadows in the room seemed to stir, as if breathing. He carefully removed the lid. Inside lay a figure carved from bone, detailed, almost human, but something in the doll's eyes, if one could call them that, seemed alive, observing him. At that moment, he heard footsteps, slowly climbing the stairs. But when he turned, the staircase was empty. And yet, an almost inaudible whisper spoke his name. Thomas. He stepped back, but the reliquary seemed to hold him, as if it had a will of its own. His lantern fell, and the room plunged into a darkness deeper than any natural shadow. A freezing shiver ran down his spine, and Thomas realized he wasn't alone. Something moved at the edges of his vision, a presence no human eyes could fully focus on. In the deadly silence, the whisper returned, clearer now. "You cannot take it!" He raised the lantern, briefly illuminating the attic. The carved figure was no longer in the reliquary. It was on the floor, staring at him with empty yet piercing eyes. Every breath Thomas took seemed to echo through the attic. Every heartbeat resounded like a warning bell. Instinctively, he tried to put the reliquary back into the crate, but his hands refused to obey. The presence drew closer, silent, slow, and the air around him thickened with suffocating shadows. Thomas fell to his knees, desperate, feeling something cold coil around his ankles, climbing, trapping him. At the height of terror, the attic door swung open by itself. Moonlight poured in, illuminating the figure, now colossal, and Thomas realized the little bone doll had only been a replica of what stood materializing before him. Faceless, voiceless, yet driven by an implacable will, it advanced. The young scholar shut his eyes and screamed, and suddenly he was on the attic floor again, alone. The reliquary lay closed, unmoving, as if nothing had happened. But when he lifted the lantern, he noticed a new inscription, freshly carved into the bone figure. "The new guardian has arrived." He bolted out of the church, but in the nights that followed, every time he closed his eyes, he felt the presence, the doll's empty gaze, always behind him, reminding him that some things are not meant to be studied, only feared.